Kings and queens were crowned and some fantastic results over the weekend, which is amazing to see. And the individual senior world athletes have locked away their spots for Cairo in November. All of that follows after our talented friend, Good Fortune. Welcome back to the Kaizen Culture Pod, where we are keeping the conversation moving within Australian karate. My name is Mitchell Durham, here as always with Nathan Blockley and John Stainer. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be on Apple or Spotify, and we're also watchable on YouTube. Please give the podcast a rating if you are enjoying the content. Now, sorry we've been away for a little bit, but we're back now with a spicy episode.
Yeah, just a week delay. We can blame it on flights.
Yeah.
Flights coming back from Newcal were terrible. And
I was
hopefully,
here.
we don't have to
John could have done solo.
I was ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, you went in on the Oceania Championships.
Yeah, sorry.
But I'd have to agree with you. Like, it's just not acceptable how it turned out. Like, athletes competing at all hours of the night. It's for something that is so heavily weighted and so important for selection. It's not acceptable. It really isn't.
Yeah, no, it's something that we've been talking about for a while. Like Newcal, the last 3 times I've been there, it's been the same, just like shit show. You know, like it actually has been so bad. I can't believe that I was scheduled to fight at like 5 p.m. Didn't fight till like maybe 8:30, 9. And then after that, it was just so choppy and changey. And like, I don't know whether it's not their fault, I guess, but it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not them being bad people and forcing them to, like, they're doing it on purpose. It's just maybe under-resourced or...
Yeah, it doesn't... I didn't even see really, like, incompetency at all. It's just not enough people, not enough support. Like, obviously, Ian and Karate Australia were there, Alex Boyd running around doing all tech stuff, and that ran relatively smoothly. But just, yeah, the whole tournament, I think they called out at the start of the tournament asking the crowd if there were any help for table officials just because they didn't have enough.
Wow.
It's not a good start. It's like 45 to an hour late just from the jump because there was no table officials.
But then it sounds like it ran late even beyond that. If it's going 3 hours by the end of the day, almost midnight finishes.
Well, we were walking out the door like 11:15, 11:30 kind of thing, getting back then to get up the next day for the tournament again at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, restaurants were closed. Let's not even talk about how damn expensive they were. Maybe it's a good thing for my bank account, but yeah, just Newcal. The actual spectacle around the event was phenomenal. Like, it was one of the best I've seen. Well, it's the best Oceania I've seen, but one of the best tournaments run in this region in terms of the spectacle. Like, they had full production around it. All 3 tatamis had live streams, which is not a regular thing. For the finals, they had, the finals map was lit on spotlight, so the rest of the arena was dark, similar to how they did in Geelong last year for the Nationals, which is also one of the only times that it's happened. So the actual spectacle around the event was great. I thought it was super entertaining, and I feel like the athletes really felt like they were performing on one of the highest levels that karate has to offer. Just the schedule let down.
And just like there was just so much chopping and changing. Like they were meant to run each division for the seniors on one mat. You do your fights and then the next division would start and the next division would start. But then they would like doing minus 68, then minus 75, and then they'll do one match of minus 84, and then they'll go back to minus 75, and then it's just like no one knew, and like I didn't even think they knew what was going on until they were like, "Oh yeah, yep, Mitchell, you're up." Like,
that's just confusing for everyone.
Yeah,
there's no
so bad. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can talk negatively about this event, but I just think if we want to be taken seriously as a continental championship, then we need to do better.
And it's about, like, from what you guys are saying, give it to a country that has the resources.
Yes.
To do it. And realistically, there's 2.
Yep.
Devil's advocate, you ready?
Go on.
When's the last Oceania Championships we've live streamed?
It's
Australia.
But it's not like...
Or New Zealand.
If you're focusing on live stream as your main priority over scheduling, I mean, your priorities are wrong.
What would be easier for Australia to add live streaming?
Well, the argument is it's not because my understanding, Newcow didn't pay a whole lot to have it live streamed.
Right.
They didn't pay a whole lot for the venue. They were very supported by the federation and the government, whatever bodies, because it was one of the major championships that they'd ever host. You know, Newcow doesn't get a lot of sporting events, so they had a lot of support through that. So things like live streaming were able to be done. And I think that is super important for Oceania Championships. Yes, it's not as impactful for the athletes. Like, the athletes don't care if it's live streamed or not. They'd rather the schedule be on time. But in terms of the spectacle of the tournament, like, you can't make it a spectacle if no one can see it. If only the people at the event can witness the Oceania Championships, but the rest of the world can't.
Yeah, I'm still in the boat of like running it properly over watching.
Yeah.
Like other people.
I guess wait and see, like, next time it's in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, how
Will
can we go?
it be live streamed?
Yeah.
Because if they're ticking both boxes, then
I think it needs to. Yeah. When it comes to an Oceania Championships, you need to have both.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can't say one is enough. Like, if the schedule is run perfectly on time, is that enough for an Oceania Championships?
Probably not, no.
I don't think so. I think there needs the spectacle around it as well, and that is through live streaming and also through the light show and all of this sort of stuff that the Newcow did have. That needs to be done on the nationals, like from Australia or from New Zealand, if they were to host it in the future.
It's also hard when we've got literally like 4 in every event. Or some people have 2. Do you know what I mean?
I think those things make the scheduling so much harder because so much more of each event is changing over, waiting for like in between fights if you've got to change colours, rather than like when you've got 20, you just have the next fight lined up. But if you're in like a semis and you win and then you're like, okay, we've got to wait 2 minutes for the next like gap.
But surely you shouldn't run, like it's the same amount of divisions as a...
It is just a messy event in general, Oceania, I think, with how small it is.
Yeah. Anyway. I'd hazard to say that the reason why they started doing the changing between divisions later on in the tournament is because they were running so far behind.
Yes.
So they're like, instead of giving this athlete the full 3-minute break between fights, we'll just put a fight from another division in, and then we'll go back to that division, and that will make it so we don't run so much out of time. So arguably, like, we could be talking about one mistake that's just through a cascade of events just blown up, and to make it like athletes are competing 3 hours late and they don't know when they're competing because they don't know what division's on. It could just be the fact that it didn't start on time because they didn't have enough officials.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, even besides that, getting there is just it's so bad.
So expensive.
Why were the flights delayed?
So first of all, I think the flight coming from our side was like, we came from Perth to Perth to Sydney. Then in Sydney, we were delayed by a little bit. And then all of a sudden, like, the windscreen wiper wasn't right, mechanical issues. So they were like, oh, yeah, you can, whatever it is, like, change the plane. So we're like, okay, it's fine. One mistake. It's all good. Qantas, whatever. We get there. It's fine. Then we're, like, delayed by ages coming into Newcow. But then going out of Newcow, oh, my God. First of all, no flights going out on Sunday that weren't like over $1,000.
Or Monday. No flights at all on Monday.
Yeah,
not even ones that were expensive. There were just no flights.
They just don't fly?
They don't fly.
Yeah. And then Tuesday they had the flight. It was like 4:25 p.m. Then we get to the airport. It's like already delayed by half an hour. Okay, this is fine. No worries.
It's like 1 p.m. because we'd arrived like 3 hours before, just after checkout.
So chill.
Well, yeah, 3 hours is a decent amount of time to wait for your flight, but now it's 3.5 hours because it's half an hour delay.
Yeah,
okay.
not the worst. We get there. The plane that's meant to be here hasn't left Brisbane yet, so it's delayed by a while. It's going to be another hour. Okay, it hasn't left Brisbane. It's fine.
How long have we got, Mitch, to make our collecting flight? It's like
the connecting flight was like maybe 50 minutes. So we're like, we can still make it.
We
still had hope. And we're just like, and then
forever
just kept getting pushed back. And then eventually it was pushed back by 3.5 hours. So we left at 7:50 p.m. at night. And then it's just like, oh my God. Lucy's whinging about not getting home because we're flying to Brisbane. She's like, oh, I'm going to get home so late. I'm like, you're getting home so late? We have to stay in Brisbane
I was messaging you guys to be like, is the pod on tomorrow? And I could tell from the tone of the text. And I was like, this is the wrong time to be asking.
No pod tomorrow, John.
No pod. I don't think we'll make it. We're still in Newcastle. I'm like, okay.
Because the
Put
initial
this chat away.
Yeah, the initial chat was, we'll do the pod.
Yeah.
Because we'll be back in time.
Sure.
No way.
And then we definitely weren't back in time.
Some of that does just sound like unfortunate coincidence. I want to say, like, it's not Newcastle.
But and the same thing with the tournament. It's not the first time.
Yeah, we
So,
also
like-
had plane delays in 2022. And the same thing happened in 2022.
Sounds like
with
it's the planes from Brisbane. Maybe we should be
Yeah, maybe it's Brisbane's fault.
Brisbane.
Anyway, I think that's enough negative talk for this one.
It is. I think I just want to mention like the flip side of doing it in terms of like it costs so much for Australians and Kiwis to get over because Kiwis can't go straight from New Zealand to Newcastle. They have to go via Australia. So they got 2 flights anyway as well. So it's like $1,500 plus for a return flight, whether you're Australian or New Zealand. If it was in Australia, it's just the small Newcastle team having to come over to Australia.
And they can fly direct.
And they can fly direct. So maybe there's some funding way that instead of Aussies paying so much damn money to get over to Newcastle, we can compensate Newcastle coming to Australia.
I'd be happy to fork out like $200 per person. Like that would save so much money that I would have spent also just buying dinners and like the groceries. I spent $110 at a grocery store for snacks. Okay.
People know how much you snack.
No, I don't. It's like water.
First night, I had a burger and chips, $48. Do you know how many times I've repeated this fact to people? I reckon this is like the 40th person I've told.
This is definitely the saltiest episode we've ever recorded.
It wasn't even salty. There were no salt on the chips.
I'm actually just over Newcastle. Like I love
Yeah.
it. If I'm getting there for a cruise and it's a nice getaway and I'm gonna swim with the turtles, I'm going.
And it's all included.
Sounds like you had time on Monday.
But
since
I
there's
did
no
have time.
flights.
We were just laying on this beach and it's all overcast and you're just like, get me out of here. Anyway, all right. So Australia topped the medal tally. Fantastic. 32 gold medals.
Massive.
25 silver, 30 bronze. Then New Zealand had 9 gold, 9 silver, 16 bronze. Newcastle, 8 gold, 10 silver, and 13 bronze.
That is really cool how like the difference between New Zealand and Newcastle isn't that much.
It's very close. Yeah, it's only by like 1 gold, 1 silver. Oh, no. They
Yeah.
got 1 more silver
Yeah.
and only 3 bronzes. left
Hardly a difference.
Newcastle's team was epic this time.
Yeah.
Like they had some really good athletes. I was watching some of it's all the way from cadets up. Like some really quick, explosive athletes. Yeah,
Yeah.
really good stuff. It's interesting. There's an individual neutral athlete there got bronze. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I did see them listed. I think it was in a children's event, but
Okay.
who knows
No,
where they're
yeah.
from.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I did cut you off from saying French Polynesia
yeah,
got
sorry.
4th, 2 silvers and 2 bronzes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, still a small... I don't know if it felt smaller or bigger than 2023 in Christchurch, but yeah, I mean, we just absolutely cleaned up, and rightly so, because the other teams are just not as good as us at the moment. And that's just a fact. Like, New Zealand have significantly dropped off in the past couple of years, I would say. That's not...
Sure.
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying that's just true.
I feel like a few Oceania goes, they won.
Yeah, New Zealand used to be so... Like, they used to have our number for...
In quite a few
for
events,
years there.
yeah.
So who knows? But I know a lot of them like prioritized like international trips over the Oceania. They said, "Oh, we're not going to focus, especially for the seniors. We're not going to focus on the World Championships because this is what the Oceania Championships were for the seniors. We don't really care about the going to Worlds. We're going to prioritize going to other international opens, Series A's, kind of things like that, which I respect. I think it's great.
I do like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's tough for the Federation because the Federation wants representation on the world stage. So,
Yeah.
like, if their athletes are choosing not to participate, that's out of their control. And then they don't have, like, they can't go to the government and say, hey, we're sending, 6 people to Worlds. They'd be like, yeah, we're sending 1
Yeah.
from one
That's
division.
tough, isn't
That's
it?
actually tough.
It's a bit of a like long term versus short term. What are you going to get the most out of?
I like the long term plan. It's good.
Yeah.
But I also like going to Worlds. It's kind of nice.
Just do everything.
Just do it all.
Yeah. But yeah, no countries being involved in this championships. We don't have enough, I guess. But I think is French Polynesia. Does that include Fiji and Tahiti?
No. No.
So
Fiji's-
where are Fiji? and
Fiji
Tahiti?
hasn't been to the Oceania in like ages.
Right. So
They haven't participated.
there was a Fijian athlete
Oh,
in the
there-
cup.
Oh,
I
there
know
was?
because I remember her specifically. She actually did quite well.
Oh, nice.
I saw quite a few Tahitians in.
Yes.
Must have been the cup.
Okay.
So what's French Polynesia? Who's competing from that?
I think it's just another country.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like the cup was a good addition as well. I think it's always great to see the children and the veterans there competing, and sort of gets them like a way to be represented at the Oceania event. It looks so fun. All the kids having a great time. All the veterans having a great time. There's just no shade anywhere.
No.
It's so good.
The competition was really good as well in terms of like. I think the medal tally was a bit less one-sided than the Oceania. So
Really?
Australia got 25 gold medals. Newcal was second with 10 gold medals.
Ooh.
And I can't remember what New Zealand got, but I think it was around that. But yeah, the spread's a little bit less. There was a lot of divisions where you had a Newcal or a New Zealand in the finals, maybe not an Australian. So it's better. I'd say it's probably better quality than an Australian Open, which is what you need.
Yep.
For as a children events, that's the next step above Australian Open. So I think it's worth going to.
Yeah.
Maybe not worth going to Newcal. But if an Oceania Cup was not in Newcal and it was just in Brisbane or
Do you have the same
even Auckland or
representation?
something, hopefully you would have the same representation, especially if like you compensated the countries
Sure.
that would have to come over. Maybe you get the same.
If not, you think there'd be a lot less Newcal.
Yeah, which would be a problem because
But
we
more
need
Aussies?
I
In
think
the
there's
cup?
quite a lot of Aussies that went.
there
No,
were
but
heaps
to
of
be-
Aussies that went.
How could
You
you
would have more.
You'd have
surely.
more.
You'd have more.
True. This is like an Aussie Open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. True.
But I think it's important to support Newcal
Yeah.
in
absolutely.
these sort of tournaments because it's the third.
Especially like Fiji's lost from Oceania participation.
Well, I just
Like, you don't
think-
want to end up
yeah.
losing another one. Like it would just, and it's what, 2?
Well, we haven't
Yeah.
seen Vanuatu since 2023. No, before that, I think. Solomon Islands, very poorly represented.
Yeah,
Like,
we sometimes see him in
Some.
Australian Open, maybe.
nah,
Or
I've never seen the Solomon Islands. In
maybe I'm thinking Oceania when it was in New Zealand.
yeah, that's when it was. 'Cause there was
2023,
quite
yeah.
a few there.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. The Oceania is a big problem child for WKF, I think. There's no right way to make it. I don't know, but we'll go into that a little bit later. I want to highlight all the gold medalists that we have.
Cool.
Do you have the list?
That is John's. Yeah, so I'll do I'll do Oceania. I'll do the big one,
All right.
and then you can do Cup. John can do Cup.
Good. Oh, you stitched him up with the names.
Oh,
The cup names are
I'm
the
handballing
tough.
that
No,
one.
that's all right.
So we have, so I'm just going to read them out, not divisions, just going to read out our gold medalists. So big congratulations to everybody who went. But yeah, these are the gold medalists for our Oceania. We got Rebecca Wabowo, Stephanie Domovska, Kento Oiwa, Dylan Fisher, Lily Heron, Scarlett Orange, Sienna Downey, Tatum Heber, Sophia Innes, Jessie Rose Talbot Cook, Mia Vrumans, Mia Heron, Sophia Du, Liam Johnson, Angus Wirisada, Seth Putty, Caius Rose, Justin Robbins, Aston Barrett, Hudson Margio, Thomas Van der Riet.
Very
Van der
nice.
Riet, yeah. And then you can do the seniors if
You
you want.
are
Do the
so
seniors. These are the easy ones, and then Mitch
Oh,
can do the cup.
yeah.
But if I get these wrong, I look like an.
Oh, yeah, that would look very bad on you. Mitch.
Okay, so for the seniors, gold medalist, big congratulations to Georgie Lawrence, Iris Webb, Declan Squire, Rory Attridge. Oh,
You
Mitchell.
missed Celia Tran
Did I?
up here.
I'm going down. Mitchell
Oh,
Durham,
Oh, it's on left side, right side.
Yeah.
Daniel Thielen, Cecilia Tran, Crystal Boyce, and Jonathan Freund.
Yep.
I was like,
think so.
okay. Did I
Did we
miss
miss
anyone?
it?
We've had this discussion before on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All right,
No,
now
you
it's the
get the
cup.
good luck.
Now there are some people from the cup that. Oh, did you write the opens down?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I was like, couldn't remember it. Well done. Okay, so we've got Billy Zamet, Daniel Schlemak, Dion Risborg, Amelia Faketa, Emma Lowe, James Sanders, Jason Salaway, Catherine Griffiths, Lachlan Smith, Karen Hassler, Leonardo Wijaya, Nell Lidgett, Reese Pryor, Ritaro Ito ×2. I don't know
Yeah,
what that
2 gold medals.
is. That Kata Kumite?
Yeah.
Wow. That is that is very, very
Yeah,
good.
the only one.
Only one. Taishiro Ito, William Fung, Yvette Stolk, and then we've got the seniors who also participated, and the juniors who also participated in the open categories, which was a part of the cup. Hannah Sullivan and Daniel Thielen were the senior open winners, and James Simone for male juniors, and Mia Heron for the junior females. So congratulations to you guys. That's awesome.
Yep. And then the team events.
Oh yeah, you got it's not highlighted. See, that's what I was a bit.
My
I was
apologies.
thrown here.
Yeah.
Children female team kata and children male team kumite. Oops,
Male team Kumite got silver.
got silver.
Yeah.
So the children female team kumite got gold. Children male team kumite got silver.
Yep. And the senior Australian team,
Yes.
both male and female, both got gold medals, which is awesome. But they
Massive.
dominated again.
Yeah, it was good fun. It was really good fun. I was like so excited. Just to get the 4 in a row for the boys is epic.
4 in a row now.
I don't know if anyone's done it. I know it's hard because like back in the day it was like every 2 years, so that's 8 years of like consistency. You know, obviously the last 4 years has been back to back to back to back, so it's a bit easy to maintain that. But still got to get it done. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And then the ladies got it done for the second time in a row. Had to go to 3 fights as well, so Hannah held through and she fought really well. We got a couple minutes before we have to go to a break. I'd like to go through, just touch on the senior world's athletes.
Oh,
So
yeah,
obviously,
Let's do it.
super important to
Yeah.
touch on.
yeah. So out of these gold medalists, probably the biggest part of this championship was for the seniors, because this was the decider for who got the spot at the Senior World Championships in Cairo. So pretty big moment for that Friday, considering we were also fighting at like 9 p.m. at night. So it was insane. So yeah, Celia, obviously now, like if you know, I've qualified for the spot, but if Karate Australia were like, oh, we're not going to send Mitchell because of whatever, it's still their decision.
That is a
It's-
potential.
It's so this people haven't, the team hasn't been officially named, but you know, I mean,
Technically, this list is qualified.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, -50 Celia Tran, -55 Georgie Lawrence, 61 Iris Webb, 68 Laura Golding, +68 Crystal Boyce. -60 is Declan Squire, 67 Rory Attridge, 75 myself, -84 is Jonathan Freund, and +84 is Daniel Thielen.
Female kata is Stephanie Domovska, and male kata is Dylan Fisher.
Very good. That's it's wild. It's I think probably the first, it is the first time that we've had to qualify like this. Otherwise, you know, it's always just been the Karate Australia's decision on who goes. So it was a huge moment, and yeah, I don't know, not much to say.
Yeah, there are interesting results in here, definitely. Athletes that wouldn't have the track record, wouldn't have the resume to be selected to Worlds, but they won on the day, and so they're going to Worlds. And this is an argument we've had on the podcast before, a discussion where what's better, the choosing selection off a resume, or it's whoever wins on one particular day goes. I like the fact that in this new model that Karate Australia is doing, and this is why they did it, is they take the subjectiveness out of it. You know, there's no politics involved. It's just whoever wins on that day goes. The counter argument is if the best person, best in quotations, best athlete in the division has an off day, and the second best bests them on that day, then they are the one end up going. That's the argument. But either way, it's in the athlete's control. I like that part of this selection process. Like you can't blame anyone else. You can't blame some selection panel that decided that your resume isn't as good as the other person's, even though you got gold at this tournament and they only got silver and blah, 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 blah. It's up to you. If you lose, you lose.
You just have to win, right?
Straight up.
You know, if you win, you go. Well, you get qualified to get selected.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky, I want to say, without getting any specifics with seeding.
The draws.
And then if you lost to the same person, but you met them in the semis, first finals,
Yeah, so
that's difficult.
That's the other one. So it's happened in a couple of these divisions. I'll take, my apologies, I'll take Male Carter as a great example because I feel like whether it's Dylan or it's Kento going to Senior Worlds, like we're very well represented in this division. Like both of them are always neck and neck. They've got very similar resumes over the last like 1 or 2 years. But it was the case scenario where they both got bronze. So neither one of the athletes, sorry, they both got bronze. Kento got bronze and Dylan got silver, but they both lost to the same athlete from New Zealand. It was just Kento lost first, Dylan lost second.
Yep.
And that was the way that the draws were done. Now, there wasn't any seeding either because this is the first time this Oceania qualification has happened, so they don't have any past results to seed from. So if we, like, Kento won the qualification event at Oz Open against Dylan. So if we could use, which we can't, if Karate Australia could use, which they can't, use that as the seeding for this Oceania Championships, they would put Kento on the opposite side of the draw to the New Zealand seed number 1, which is Nicholas Rousby, in which case Kento would have ended up going, but there was no seeding. It was completely random. Dylan ended up on the other side of the draw as Nicholas Rousby. Kento lost to Nick, then Dylan lost to Nick. And who goes to Worlds? Dylan, not Kento.
Yeah. Like you said, both are great. But it is very like, it did depend on that draw. And that feels a little bit like it's not in the athlete's control.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it just because it's the first time it's happened? But then again, like for next Oceania,
The seeding would have to take into place, no?
yeah, but the seeding will be Dylan.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah.
The seeding will put Dylan on the other side of Nicholas Rousby.
Is there like a formal process for seeding that we know?
It's just whoever won last Oceania.
Yeah, and
Like
it
the
is
results.
only one first and second as well. It's not. It doesn't go past second. So is Kento stuck in this
Limbo.
limbo
wins.
where he has to beat Nicholas Rousby to get selected for Worlds? I don't.
It's a really interesting way of doing it. I would have thought, because Oceania's one comp.
Yeah, who knows? Well, there's so many flaws in the OKF system.
International
and
ranking would be a better.
International ranking is a good one.
Hey, we actually had
Would
we
be a
had
better
the
seeding.
yeah we had the privilege of during this stupid stopover talking with Karate Australia about this whole seeding qualification. We were even made aware to the fact, which blew our minds, is in the scenario where there are only 2 athletes from the same country that in one division, if there was a selection criteria where only one athlete went from the country instead of the 2, and they were the only one in the division, they get automatic gold, but they don't get any points, and they don't get selection into Worlds.
It's no event.
So there needs to be 2 athletes from each country.
Yeah.
And then it was a roundabout, and the conclusion was there is no perfect system. There's always going to be flaws, but I like that I think this is better than the resume sort of thing because of that. So let's have a break.
Yep. Okay, back from the break, and we've got a little bit more speculation happening around about the OKF and world selection because it's just super fun to talk about, even though we have no power to make any decisions. There has been talks about Oceania being a stepping stone for the World Championships, and we have to qualify through the Pan America's Continental Championships. So it would essentially be like we give up our world spots, because currently we have 2 in the Oceania. We would give them up to, let's say, Pan America or wherever they go. Don't know about the logistics, but then we would have to go to Pan America, and the top 3 medalists would go to the World Championships.
Or maybe it'd be more because we give them more spots.
Well, that's where it gets tricky, is currently every continent has 3 qualification spots. If we give Pan America 2, it's like Pan America has 5 and Europe has 3, Asia has 3, all that. So I don't know how that would work.
There'd have to be a change.
Would have to be a change, but like Pan America would want to like accept that offer. They would not just be like, oh yeah, come on in and get rid of our athletes. You know what I mean? They would be like, oh, if we get 5 spots, then yeah, we'll take it. Do you know what I mean? Who cares?
Sure.
But then it's just like we qualify for a qualifier to qualify for the Worlds.
It's too much. I think
Too many steps.
you'd have to get rid of Oceania almost and just go, we just compete in the Pan. I know we're not Pan American, but
Yeah, well, the Oceania would be a qualification event for Pan Americans.
Yeah, so
That's
the top 2 medalists would go to Pan America.
Why not just let Australia, New Zealand, and Newcastle send an athlete each?
Well, because then it's like the events would be. Oh, actually, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, if it was that, maybe there's like too much Oceania representation at PKF because PKF have their rule where it's 2 per country.
Yeah,
that is it.
And if we have 2 Aussies, 2 New Zealanders, 2 Newcows, 2 Fijians potentially that could go, that's like so many people in the event. Whereas if we just go, whoever your top 2 or top 3 medalists are, they can go to the event, and that's only 3 per category that they can include.
So Oceania is like a country in the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sounds messy.
I mean, I think I like the idea. It makes it so much harder to go to Worlds. It's 5 rounds is Pan America to win, and the countries there are amazing. You got America, Canada, Chile, Guatemala, like Ecuador, like all these countries are still so good. But I think it will make Australia and New Zealand and the rest of Oceania better, because that would be our World Championships. And then if you're qualifying to the World Championships by getting a medal at Pan America, I think it's like you deserve to go to the World Championships.
You're feeling really good. Yeah, you haven't got there just by continental representation, just because they've handed spots out.
Yeah.
Like you're going because you've competed in a very high quality tournament and you've done very well, so you deserve to go to Worlds.
Yeah, I like the idea of the more competition. I think the extra step of like you've got to qualify to represent Oceania, and then just trying to picture that for like athletes like yourself having to do Oceania, Pan America, and then the Worlds, and then how do you get to any Series A's, K1s financially on top of all that, and calendar wise?
Well, it would almost just shift the goalposts. It'll be like, well, maybe World Championships is not where we're at as a nation. Unfortunately, that's just like if we're just going because we will be the most represented country at the World Championships this year.
That's wrong. No, not factually. Like factually, that's correct.
correct.
But like, not morally. But it's not right.
No,
that's happening. More than Japan.
More than Egypt.
You could list 50 countries. We should not be more.
Yeah,
than that.
it's not deserved.
No.
Just and we're going to be viewed in that way as well by other countries. Other countries are going to look at Australia and saying, "Why have they got so many athletes here? They're not even good."
I mean, the thing is, good athletes.
Sure. But
they're going to say they're not even good.
In terms of
athletes.
like competitive, realistic
On the world
chances of the
stage,
medals and.
Yeah, I mean,
And this is a far-fetched idea, being a part of the Pan American Karate Championships. But guess what? It's happened before. Puko was us being a part of the Asian Championships. I don't know if there was a qualification to Worlds through that. It was a very different era of karate back in the 1980s and 90s. But we had access to such a top-tier tournament, and there was also a round of 2 of our 3 World Championship gold medals. And it was the time where Australia was very competitive on the world stage. And we were also medaling at the Asian Championships. We were medaling everywhere in the world. So it was a very good time for us, and that is where that's where our pathway was to World Championships, as we had that stepping stone. Like also imagine, and then on the flip side, like imagine all the Australian athletes that never medalled at World Championships. There's a lot. Imagine if they got to medal at Pan Americans, because they were good enough to medal at Pan Americans. Yeah, they weren't quite good enough to medal at Worlds, but they'd be able to walk away and say, yeah, I mean, I went to Worlds quite a few times, but I also got silver at the Pan American Karate Championships. That's a hell of an achievement.
It's true. Sounds odd. An Australian getting silver at the Pan Americans. It's like winning the Eurovision. It's just like, what are you in Eurovision for?
Yeah, true. I don't know. I'm look, maybe I'm coming from a point of like privilege because I've been to a couple of World Championships, but based off of that selection, so my viewpoint's different, maybe and jarred. But I like this idea. I think it's got more credibility, and it will raise the quality of karate in Australia.
I think so. I think the easy access to the World Championships has not done Australia any favours.
I mean, look,
in the long term.
In the long term, yeah, short term.
And I think in the short term it would suck. There'd be like a period where it's like, wow, this is so difficult. But maybe in the long term we'd come through.
Yeah, it's the shifting the goalposts.
Anyway,
I'm all for it.
Yeah, right.
And then the other thing I want to say is that judo does it currently. In judo, they compete, they get world qualification through the Pan American Championships.
Yeah.
And guess what? In judo, there's Brazil in the Pan Americans, which is arguably the best country at judo.
Very cool.
Break.
Little break. Kaizen culture had a lot to do with the World Karate Federation at Oceania Championships, thanks to you.
Yeah, we did. It's becoming a no surprise now.
Oh, this guy, this is WKF
Wow.
employee kind of thing.
No, it's, I mean, this was a no-brainer for the World Karate Federation, where their official media team at the Premier Leagues and the big tournaments of the world, we were at Oceania for this one, and we offered them collaboration with no financial exchange.
Yep.
So that was a no-brainer for them. They collaborated on, I think, like 8 or 9 different posts, which is fantastic. I mean, it's putting Oceania on the world stage, so that's the big one. Mitchie did a couple killer reels, some awesome reels.
It's easy when the content is good to work with and the quality is so nice. It's actually so much fun.
Yeah, I'm glad because I hate doing it still. But no, yeah, it was just good to showcase the championships on the world stage, and like all of our videos had thousands of likes and hundreds or tens of thousands of views, maybe even
100,000 views.
Yeah, 100,000 views.
Like, I know Oceania's just not had that. Just not had that before.
Never had it before. Yeah, so it's great for the World Karate Federation because it shows that they're showcasing a continental championships, which they need to be doing. It needs to be an equal opportunity thing for them, and it's great for us because we get to put the spectacle of Oceania Championships on the world stage, and it also does well for our audience. You know, expands our audience to more of the world. So yeah, win-win-win there. And yeah, we provided photos for everyone who stepped out on the tatami. I haven't heard of anyone who's come to us and say, "Hey, you didn't get any pictures of me." It's been absolutely fantastic, the response we've had from those photos. We don't know how it's going to look at nationals yet. Hopefully it's going to be the same with packages and photos, but yeah, obviously we'll have the presence there, and it was just awesome fun to do.
We'll also be there with the t-shirts that you got on right now.
Yes,
So some people-
casual tees.
Some people got wind of the pre-order, the discount. That's no longer the case. You missed out, losers. But we'll be there with limited stock. All right, so it's going to be like very, very, very limited stock because we can only take so much over. So if you want to get your hands on this, the white one and the black one,
And they are a great tea.
it's nice. It is very nice.
do
I
like
wear
that
this
one.
so
Yeah,
much.
I wear it so often as well. It's so nice.
It's such a comfortable tee, and obviously I like representing Kaizen culture.
And you look good.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's also like you're not branding yourself like I do karate.
Yeah.
You know, it's
nice.
very
It's
subtle.
very tasteful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very tasteful, very subtle. Yeah.
But Nationals is coming up so soon. It's like 3 weeks away, man. It's actually so crazy. What's going on?
It's only June.
What's happening?
Nationals is still an August tournament in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, how do you feel about the July vibes of Nationals? Too early?
I think it's okay. Makes our off season massive again though.
There's
What, like,
nothing at the back end.
from August through to Feb.
I'm
pretty
worried
much.
about like what content we're going to talk about for this podcast and the back end of the year.
Talking about
Nothing.
Nationals for 6 months.
Yeah, reviewing Nationals every division, every point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Nationals is going to be amazing in Adelaide. We'll be talking about it more leading into it. There's a pretty special thing that's coming up for that one is the Guardian Girls. So if you've seen on the international stage, there's an initiative that WKF run. It's a worldwide social initiative that aims to promote gender equality and women's empowerment to defend themselves from all forms of gender-based violence through karate training. So it's amazing. I don't know when it exactly started, but it's been going for a few years now.
Years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mish Wilson is the spearhead for this, bringing it to Adelaide, to the Nationals, to do a demonstration and provide training sessions for 3 instructors from every state. You have to be a female second dan dojo instructor. We still haven't got any from WA apparently. So if you're interested in something like that, where you get to not be a part of the demonstration, but you actually learn and you do the course, so then you can become an instructor for your local suburb and stuff like that. So Amy Connell, if anyone knows Amy Connell from Scotland, and a Scotland icon, is coming over to be a part of that as well. So
That's awesome.
very exciting to see that come through.
Yep, and Kaizen Culture will be doing media for it as well. Yeah, so we'll be doing media for the workshops, and we're also going to the government house or whatever to do
really?
media there. Yeah.
I had no idea.
When are the workshops compared to the tournament?
So the workshops are Wednesday and Thursday. I don't know if Wednesday is an open one and Thursday is a more closed off one. I'm not sure about the three.
Sure. But before
Three
the tournament,
instructors.
you're gonna be
Yeah,
busy.
it's going to be before the. Yeah, I'm going to be very busy.
Hope
There's
your
no
flight's not
surprise there,
delayed.
is there?
It's not new.
Thanks, John. Thanks for speaking that into existence.
Pretty soon there'll be a visa to get to Adelaide.
Oh, no visa issues, no passports, no flights
Yeah.
issues.
Fingers crossed.
No.
Fingers crossed. Touch wood.
We'd actually love to hear how everyone's preparation is going with their state team. I don't ask this very often, but we only know what's going on in WA, but let us know what your preparation is like with your state team. I know New South Wales do things a little bit differently to Victoria, and Adelaide's different to Queensland. So, yeah, just if you're interested and you care to share that with us, we'd love to share that on the pod. So, other than that, I'm pretty happy to leave it here, boys.
It's been good to do it. Felt like it's been a while since
Yeah.
we've done a
It's
pod.
been a
So
while.
it's, yeah, good to
Good to
sit
see you
down
guys
again.
back in Perth.
It is nice. It is nice. All right.
Just for the brief period of time.
So, yeah, as always, let us know your thoughts and opinions. After all, we're an organisation for you. Send us an email at kaizenculture.info@gmail.com, or better yet, just send us a DM on our socials. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.
See you, boys.
Bye.